Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin-yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Wednesday, May 17th, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 2023. A powerful earthquake shakes deep beneath Guatemala. It was felt in Mexico, coming in at 6.4. Thankfully, there are no injuries being reported. But the big story, significant El Nino event is almost guaranteed, and it could be a big one. Keep calm, it's boom time. The chance of an ocean warming event known as El Nino is, well, over 90%. It's 100%. It's happening now. And it could persist into 2024. El Nino, which means little boy in Spanish, is a major climatic event caused by changes to ocean currents in the Pacific. This heating event is strong enough to trigger major changes in global weather patterns. And they are typically, well, to the benefit of people down here in the Four Corners region. A wetter, extended Pacific jet stream amplifies storm tracks in the south where it stays wet. And it gets dry in the Appalachians and warm in the northwest and the northern plains. So this could be an extended period with a really good monsoon happening all summer. And that's not a bummer. Real-time storm updates, power outages, fallen trees, and quarter-size hail reported as storms move across North Kakalaki. Several roads closed today as early as 11 a.m., and a tree there fell on a house. Forecasters say severe weather is possible in Arkansas on Friday and Saturday. So heads up, and here's the full forecast. Cool, breezy, and dry in the northeast. A strong cold front is keeping conditions breezy and cool across the northeast, with areas of critical fire weather threats in the northwest. A cold front will produce strong and isolated severe storms in the high plains, and unsettled conditions continue in the southwest and southeast, where locally heavy rain could cause flooding. Much above normal temperatures persist in the northwest as well. Take a look at the frost and freeze warnings out for Pennsylvania, all of New England for the most part, hard freeze for most of western New York, and bring in those sensitive plants all the way to the suburbs of Philly. You could see some frost. Let's take a quick look at the snowpack, and it is ridiculous. Look at the percent of normal snowpack for all of Nevada. It is 500%, up to 1,000% of snowpack in some areas. A lot of snow still to come down in the Sierras, 600 to 800%, 2,000% of normal out here in the desert. Absolutely amazing. And our rivers are raging. They're the highest they've been ever, and we still have 182% of snowpack to come out of the mountains in our neck of the woods. So it's looking like a great river rafting season for much of the West. And more snow is in the forecast. Take a look at this, and we'll just move it through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, May 20th, the 21st, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th of May, some snow moving into Alberta. That's going to be good news for the fires. And the snow continues through the end of May and into June. Up to 4 feet here predicted for Alberta. And that means good news for the fire weather watch. Look how dry it is up here in Alberta until we move the model through May 21st. Rain starts coming in the 22nd, and then it is a deluge, the 23rd, the 24th, and that is going to help put out some of these fires, just massive fires and massive amounts of smoke. Here is the smoke map. Let's move it through. Here is the 17th into the morning of the 18th here. And you can see snow affecting a lot of the northern plains here. And that is all the smoke map for the 18th, as the snow is going to be moving well into North America here through the 19th. Take a look at that. We're even going to get some of that smoke down here in our neck of the woods by the 19th and 20th. So the U.S. is going to get smoked out by some of these Canadian fires before the moisture falls in that region and puts them out. So we have a few days of some smoky conditions for a large portion of the central U.S. And then luckily, in the forecast, the fires may be put out. That's good news. Now, talking about rain, exceptional rains in drought-stricken northern Italy have killed 8, and they even canceled the Formula One Grand Prix. And these deadly storms happening in Italy as river levels continue to rise. Here we can see firemen and civil protection rescuers evacuating a woman with an inflatable dinghy. At least 8 people have been killed by heavy flooding and mudslides in northern Italian region, Emilia-Romagna, with more than 13,000 residents being forced to evacuate, according to local authorities. 3 people died in the city of Forlì, and 1 died in a mudslide in Cesenat. And a married couple died in the village of Ronta de Cesna, according to the attendees of an emergency meeting of the Council of Ministers on Wednesday. 2 others died overnight. Regional resident Stefano Bonacci said 3,000 people were evacuated from Bologna, 5,000 from Faenza, and another 5,000 from Ravenna. So heads up if you're in northern Italy tonight, as a powerful earthquake shakes deep beneath Guatemala. It was felt in Mexico. No immediate reports of damage. That is good news. The USGS said the epicenter was near Canilla, a town 120 miles north of the capital city, but it struck at a depth of 158 miles or 255 kilometers below the surface. People in the capital reported feeling the trembler, but there were no reports of damage. There is the quake, and there are no other quakes of note. We've got an interesting rumbler up here in Svalbard. Worldwide volcano news update. All is quiet on the volcano front. Fuego, Popo, Semaru, Reventador, Sakurajima, all puffing and passing to normal levels, including Lewotolo to 7,000. Take a look at that. Space weather news, some activity, some minor sea flares coming out. Not from the new active region that gave us that near X flare. Let's take a look at that sunspot. This is where that near X flare came from. And that sunspot is now well into view. But that's not the area that's flaring. Up here in the northwest quadrant is the area in question. While all our eyes have been on the newly signed AR 3310, that's the sunspot we just showed, turning into view, it should be noted that much of the C-class flares detected today have been around the new region, hiding off the northeast limb. We will begin to see this region during the next 24 hours. An increased chance for moderate M-class flares is likely. So we've got some activity potentially boiling up on the sun. And so nothing showing there in the northeast yet. Scientists discover a giant crater from an ice age explosion that has methane spewing mud volcano inside it. And there's the picture. The Borealis Mud Volcano is only the second ever found in Norwegian waters and releases a continuous stream of methane-rich muddy liquid from deep below the Earth's crust. Now, the striking formation spotted 80 miles south of Norway's Bear Island in the Barents Sea by an underwater rover is a mere tiny remnant of a once larger feature. Yes, so it is thought that the Borealis Mud Volcano once erupted in a big way back in the Ice Age. It measures roughly 23 feet in diameter and is 8 feet tall. So, all the links will be below if that's interesting. Now, the Big Mary Jane. We knew this all along. It's associated with significant and sustained health improvements, according to the American Medical Association. And good news, we're doing some studies on this plant because it is the key to health and the future of medicine. Now we're going to be talking about some amazing topics this weekend on our radio show, Cosmic Catastrophe on Revolution Radio. Namely, a cosmic airburst may have wiped out part of the Middle East 3,700 years ago. And it may very well be scientifically evidence of the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. And here's the paper we'll be discussing. A Tunguska-sized airburst destroyed Tal el-Haman, a Middle Bronze Age city in the Jordan Valley near the Dead Sea. And that will be this weekend on Revolution Radio in Studio B, 12 noon Mountain Time. Just click play and join us for an interesting discussion on Sodom and Gomorrah and cosmic airbursts. And that is a boom to knowledge. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. I hope you got something out of the video. Please share this video and help our channel grow as we are shadow banned on YouTube. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. Give us a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. And be safe. We love you.